So in episode 3 of Seller FAQ, we have a user here on Reddit who it says, "What's your ad campaign strategy for new Amazon listings?" So, new to Amazon ads, I'm curious how you structure ad campaigns when launching new Amazon listings. Specifically, what campaign structure do you use? Do you target specific keywords immediately? What's your typical bid price? I'm especially curious about how strategies should differ for niche items versus products in competitive high traffic markets. Any insight is appreciated. Obviously, this is a very common question. Pretty much anyone's selling on Amazon for the first time, regardless of scale, this is something you're going to be wondering about. So just to jump straight into that, he's right to point out that the factors surrounding your product will determine your approach with Amazon ads. So one of the biggest ones is obviously, are you selling in a competitive space, or are you going to sell in a smaller space or niche space rather? So, I mean, on a basic level, the reason why that's important is because at least when it comes to Amazon ads, if you're in a competitive space, more listings, more biddings, whatever, everything's going to be more expensive. In a smaller space, it's not the case. You have a lot more freedom. So, to differentiate really from the start, if you're in a niche space for your category, you can basically lean into that a bit more and use your ads to actually do a bit more discovery, right? So you can find, like, you're already spending less, you can use some discovery and you'll find keywords even cheaper than like most. So I would first of all go in, you set up a broad match and a phrase match campaigns. You also want to set up an auto campaign and just let this run for a week or so. What it's going to do is going to start collecting keyword data. You can go to your reports and download it. You can see like all of these keywords are getting conversions for you. The conversions is important regardless. So you want to take that list, and then, as I mentioned in episode 2, you want to take those keywords and you just pump them into your own manual campaigns and really start to double down on that. On the other hand, with competitive, it's a different story. So rather than doing that, you don't want to be wasting money. I mean, if you have the money, then yeah, you can do it. You do it. You can set up a discovery campaign. But for a lot of people, I imagine like for sellers like this, you want to be a bit more tactical with your approach. So as you don't know, or you don't have the means to collect your own data, you can use tools like keyword research tools for Amazon and do your best basically to identify keywords directly for your product that you know will do well. But the trick is really that you want to focus on keywords that are converting with like medium to high traffic, right? I mean, it's one thing to get converting keywords, but everybody's bidding on them, right? It's because they've got the most search volume. So you want to at the lower end of like what's considered a short tail keyword. So try to do your own research, and you want to take that. And this is going to his second targeting specific keywords. Yeah, you do. Like you want to, at the very least, like take these keywords that are related to your product, and you want to start indexing for them. So that comes from just organic, but then it also comes from having successful Amazon ads in the sense that, like, you might write the same word over and over again, right? Like headphones might be all over your listing, but like the only thing that really confirms it is like people who come type in a keyword into Amazon, they click on an ad which says like headphones, and then they see your product listing, which is headphones, and they buy it. Like it's all confirmation of the fact. So just with a new product, you just want to be getting as many relevant keywords down in your listing, but also you want to be bidding on those keywords as well. Yeah, so with that, you can also do what I mentioned before, which is like setting up a bunch of auto campaigns and broad campaigns just to let them run and just find more keywords. It all falls in on itself, right? So you can find your own keywords and get started with that, but then you can also run these different campaigns, which is mining, getting you some more data, and then you just pump those into your more manual campaigns like exact match. So yeah, it all works with each other. Finally, what is question about what's your typical bid price? Again, with a competitive, I mean, as a ballpark figure, we're talking like if you're bidding in competitive spaces, it's going to be like $1 to $2.50 plus. Whereas niche spaces, way lower. It's like 40 cents to up to $1, right? Like as a general range. So if you're in the niche space, I would say you can increase slightly above the suggested bid, especially on like specific keywords, like stuff in your exact match campaigns. You know, if you want to target these keywords, you've got them in exact match, just go above the suggested bid. That's going to help with the indexing, as I mentioned before. With like your auto campaigns and broad match campaigns, it's fine to just go with the suggested bid or a little bit lower. Doing that by setting it lower is going to help you keep your campaigns cost effective. Because it's one thing to do all this, but then it's another to be wasting money when you could be saving it. Yeah, so that's the gist of it, right? If you're targeting these very specific keywords, bid over. If you're doing a bit of discovery, trying to find keywords, bid at or lower, and that's going to do you pretty well. And yeah, I think that covers everything here. So a quick summary is if you've got a niche product, take it things a bit slower, do some discovery, find words that work, and pump into your own manual campaigns and just keep that cycle going. If you're in a competitive space, you want to do a bit more research, actually get some keywords to come straight in and start bidding aggressively, you know, but then also as soon as you can, you want to start like keyword discovery again, and then use that to just keep the motor going. It's the same both sides. It's just the only real difference is, can you just use Amazon to get you keywords, or do you have to bring keywords to the table? So yeah, I hope that gives you guys some more clarity, and any questions, just let me know and I'll do my best to help. Right. Thank you.